Greenland, a vast island draped in ice, a world of breathtaking beauty and ancient secrets. From space, it shines as a brilliant white heart against the Arctic Ocean. Its frozen surface preserves stories of past climates, while colossal glaciers carve their way to the sea. Here, life endures against the odds, and human cultures have thrived for millennia in this kingdom of frost and light. Our journey into Greenland is a journey back in time. It begins billions of years ago with the formation of the ancient rocks that form the island's foundation. We will explore how this giant landmass became entombed in ice, creating the largest ice sheet in the northern hemisphere. This is a geological epic, a story of a planet in flux, and of the forces that have shaped the world we live in today. Understanding its creation is the first step to understanding Greenland itself. It is a story told not in words, but in stone, ice, and the very shape of the land, a dramatic narrative of planetary evolution. We will then uncover the truth behind its intriguing name. Who would call such an icy expanse Greenland? The answer lies with one of history's most famous explorers, a Viking with a flair for marketing. We will sail with Erik the Red, exiled from his homeland, as he discovers this new world and attempts to build a new life there. His story is one of adventure, hardship, and a clever piece of branding that has endured for over 1,000 years. It is a human story that reveals much about the hopes and dreams of those who first ventured into the unknown North Atlantic, seeking a new beginning. This essay will also bring to life the stories of Greenland's first people. Long before the Vikings arrived, intrepid hunters crossed from North America, adapting to survive in the harsh Arctic conditions. We will follow the footsteps of the Paleo-Inuit and the Thule people, the ancestors of today's Greenlandic Inuit. Theirs is a remarkable tale of human endurance, innovation, and a deep spiritual connection to the natural world. They learned to live in harmony with the ice, developing a rich culture that continues to thrive today. Their legacy is a powerful reminder of humanity's ability to adapt and flourish in the face of incredible challenges. Finally, we will look at why this remote island has become so critically important to us all in the 21st century. Greenland is at the epicenter of global climate change. Its melting ice sheet holds the power to reshape coastlines around the world. But it is also a geopolitical hotspot, a place of strategic interest for global powers, rich in untapped natural resources. From its deep past to its uncertain future, Greenland's story is humanity's story. It is a chronicle of exploration, a lesson in climate science, and a glimpse into the future of our interconnected world. Let us begin this extraordinary journey. Long before the ice, Greenland's story began deep in Earth's past. Its ancient bedrock, nearly 4 billion years old, forms one of the oldest geological cores on Earth. Over eons, continents collided, mountains rose and eroded, and the land drifted north. Tectonic forces shaped rift valleys and fjords, while volcanoes left dark basaltic plateaus. Greenland's rugged landscape was set, awaiting its final sculptor: ice. Greenland was once a land of mountains, valleys, and rivers, ice-free, much like Scandinavia today. But as the climate cooled, snow began to accumulate, compressing into dense ice. Over thousands of years, a vast ice sheet formed, burying the land. Today, this colossal ice flows slowly to the sea, breaking off as the famous Greenland icebergs. Greenland's dramatic coastlines and deep fjords are masterpieces sculpted by ice. Glaciers, armed with rocks and debris, carved the land into sharp peaks, knife-edge ridges, and deep, spectacular fjords. When the ice retreats, it leaves behind a transformed world. Ridges, lakes, and a young landscape where Greenland's human story begins. Greenland's name is rooted in exile, ambition, and clever marketing. Erik Thorvaldsson, known as Erik the Red for his fiery hair and temper, was born in Norway but fled to Iceland after his father's banishment. In Iceland, Erik's own violent disputes led to his exile for manslaughter. Rather than return to Norway in disgrace, Erik set his sights west, inspired by tales of a mysterious land glimpsed by Gunnbjörn Ulfsson. He gathered a crew and sailed into the unknown, determined to find a new home. For 3 years, Erik explored Greenland's fjords and green coastal valleys, seeking places fit for settlement. He found pastures, hunting grounds, and sheltered spots for farms, enough to imagine a new colony. When his exile ended, Erik returned to Iceland, not as an outlaw, but as the discoverer of a new world. To attract settlers, he knew he needed a name that promised hope and prosperity. So, he called it Greenland, a name designed to inspire dreams of fertile land. Erik's vision and branding would change the course of history, luring hundreds to the edge of the known world. The saga of Greenland had begun. Erik the Red named the land Greenland, hoping the name alone would entice settlers. The promise worked. Hundreds joined his expedition, braving treacherous seas to reach this green land. Only 14 of 25 ships survived the journey, but those who arrived founded the first European settlements in Greenland's southwest. For a time, the name fit. Norse settlers thrived during a mild climate, raising livestock and trading with Europe. They built farms, churches, and even a bishopric, clinging to their European way of life. But the green was always a fragile illusion. Over 80% of Greenland was, and is, buried under ice. The green pastures were a thin coastal strip, vulnerable to climate change. As the Little Ice Age set in, pastures shrank, sea ice grew, and life became harsh. The Norse struggled, isolated and outmatched by the land's true nature. Greenland's name was a promise, one that could not outlast the eternal ice. The dream faded, but the legend endured. The reality was always colder than the name. Long before the Vikings, Greenland's first settlers arrived from North America thousands of years ago. These were the Sakak and Independence cultures, nomadic Paleo-Inuit hunters crossing frozen straits from Canada. They brought stone and bone tools, crafting harpoons, knives, and needles for survival. Their lives revolved around hunting muskoxen, caribou, and seals, moving with the seasons and animal migrations. They built temporary shelters from skins and stones, living on the edge of survival. For over 1,000 years, these early cultures left subtle traces along Greenland's coasts. Then, mysteriously, they vanished, perhaps due to climate shifts or dwindling populations. Greenland was empty for a time, but new waves followed. The Dorset culture arrived, bringing unique art and traditions, carving miniature figures from ivory. They too survived for centuries before disappearing, leaving the island empty once more. Greenland's earliest history is a cycle of arrival, adaptation, and disappearance. Each culture left its mark, shaping the land's human story. The stage was set for new arrivals. About 1,000 years ago, the Thule people swept across the Arctic, becoming the ancestors of today's Greenlandic Inuit. Originating in Alaska, the Thule brought a revolutionary technology, umiaks, kayaks, and advanced hunting tools. They were expert whalers, able to harvest bowhead whales for food, fuel, and building materials. This allowed them to settle in permanent winter villages, building semi-subterranean homes from stone, turf, and whalebone. These warm, communal spaces became the heart of Thule society, where stories and traditions flourished. The Thule adapted to every environment, hunting seals and walruses in the north, and open water prey in the south. Their deep knowledge of the land and sea made them true Arctic specialists. They spread rapidly along Greenland's coasts, establishing a culture that endures today. The Thule didn't just survive, they mastered the Arctic, laying the foundation for modern Inuit society. Their success was built on innovation, adaptation, and a profound understanding of the environment. In Greenland, they became the ultimate survivors. The Arctic was no longer a barrier, but a home. Their legacy lives on. For centuries, Norse farmers and Thule Inuit hunters shared Greenland, living in separate worlds on the same island. The Norse settled the green fjords of the south. The Inuit thrived along the northern and western coasts. As both populations grew and the climate cooled, their paths crossed. Norse sagas mention the Skraelings. Inuit they met, sometimes trading, sometimes clashing. Archaeology reveals Norse iron in Inuit sites and Inuit arrowheads in Norse graves. The Norse depended on farming and mild weather. The Inuit mastered the sea ice and Arctic hunting. As the Little Ice Age tightened its grip, Norse farms failed, shipping routes closed, and survival became impossible. The Inuit, perfectly adapted to the cold, endured and expanded. By the mid-15th century, the Norse vanished from Greenland. The Norse story ended, but the Inuit thrived, proving that in the Arctic, adaptation is the key to survival. The meeting of these cultures is a lesson. Knowledge of the land, not imported technology, determines who endures. Greenland's true survivors were those who understood its ice. The saga continues with the Inuit. Greenland's ice sheet is a frozen library, preserving Earth's climate story for hundreds of thousands of years. Scientists drill deep to extract ice cores, time capsules holding ancient air and climate clues. Trapped bubbles reveal past greenhouse gas levels, while ice layers show temperature shifts. This record shows Earth's climate has always changed, swinging between ice ages and warm periods. Today, we measure our changing world against this ancient, silent warning from the ice. Greenland's climate once allowed Norse settlers to farm and trade. But the onset of the Little Ice Age brought colder, harsher conditions. Glaciers advanced, sea ice blocked fjords, and the Norse struggled to adapt, eventually vanishing. Yet for the Thule Inuit, the freeze brought opportunity. Their culture thrived on sea ice, hunting seals. The Great Freeze doomed one society, but allowed another to flourish. Greenland is now at the center of a dramatic climate shift. The Arctic is warming more than twice as fast as the global average, and Greenland's great ice sheet is melting at an unprecedented rate. Meltwater carves deep channels, glaciers retreat, and massive icebergs break away. Greenland holds enough ice to raise sea levels by over 7 meters. Its fate is tied to our global future. Once seen as a remote wasteland, Greenland is now at the center of global attention. Melting ice is revealing vast mineral riches, iron, gold, and rare earths, sparking a rush of interest from nations and corporations. But this opportunity brings tough choices. Economic growth versus environmental protection, independence versus tradition. Greenland's treasure chest is unlocking, but at what cost? Greenland's location makes it one of the world's most strategic places, once a Cold War outpost, now a center of global attention. Melting Arctic ice is opening new shipping lanes and economic opportunities. The US, China, and Russia are all vying for influence here. For Greenlanders, this new great game brings both opportunity and risk. The island's fate now echoes far beyond its icy shores. Greenland's story is a journey from ancient rocks and ice to a modern crossroads of climate and geopolitics. Here, the resilience of the Inuit meets the legacy of the Vikings, and the melting ice reveals both warning and opportunity. Once remote, Greenland now stands at the center of our planet's future, a mirror of our past and a window into what's to come.